So we're going to do a nice summary recording of the learning I just was meritorious to do with an unnamed special Yid who in Shirat David. We went over the Torahs of the Meor Einaim, and last time we were able to post together the Chavrusa session this time, where he would like for me to do this summary instead. It would be helpful for me to do this, so I'm going to try to keep it short, maybe 5 minutes or so, and then we have our Marav. So the Meor Einaim brings down this concept of going out of Mitzrayim, Shabbos HaGadol. I know we are only heading towards Parshat Para, but this is brought down in Parshat Tzav. Shabbos HaGadol is the Gadlus emotion, the idea of expanded consciousness, the true way of understanding life, having true Daas, true wisdom, is connected to the concept of Gadlus Mochin. And when we were in the Shah and Memtes, or according to the Meor Einaim, Nun Shai Tuma of Klipas Mitzrayim, we were in a state of Gadlus Mochin. We explained, this idea of Nun Tes Shai Tuma, which we're in currently in this exile, leads to Gadlus Daas, to small-mindedness, and that's one of the reasons we have these whole movements of Jubus or Bujus, whatever they're called, of people looking for mindfulness and expanded consciousness. Obviously, you go back to Torah sources, back to the Zohar, back to the Kisvei, back to the Eitz Chaim, back to Chassidus, and you enter the realm of Gadlus Daas. The idea that we can have Gadlus Mochin comes through the Torah learning. We connected this into the concept of the Eish Tamid Tukanam Belo Sikbe, the idea of the Parshat Oila and Parshat Tzav, the idea that we have this Oila, this fire, and just like the original miracle that took place in Mitzrayim, when Hashem took us out and gave us an awakening, like happened October the 7th with the Simchas Torah story. There was an awakening in a not good way, but it woke up the Yiddish Neshamas. So too now, we are experiencing every year before this month with Parshat Para, Parshat Chodesh, and Chodesh Nisan, Asidin Legal. It's a time of Geulah. The way we enter into the realm of Geulah through the purification of and the Mechias Amalek we already did with Purim and Parshat Zocha and the original Shkolim, the fire that we lit up in Parshat Shkolim, the fire to be an Eish Tamid, to have a constant fire for our Yiddishkeit, for our Gadlus and Mochin, for the true Das. This brings us to Shabbos HaGadol, where we can get ready for the great Nes Hashem does for us every year, because as a Klal and Chassidus, the idea whatever happened before is happening again, as a spiral, as the Maral brings, and we're going up and up and up. Every time we get to that point in the spiral, which is Chodesh Nisan, Asidin the goal, it's a time in the future where we're going to be redeemed, and our true Das is going to be returned to us, the Gadlus Rishon of the Seder night. We enter into the true Das, and now obviously we have to work hard to then make a kinyan and to be able to come to Das B'Shleimus. As we mentioned from Rosh Hashanah Shir in the morning, we're learning with Yitzhak Ginsburg the idea of Das being the Raka Emes, the idea of clarification, of Havdalah, of making sure we're tuned into the Emes, or Rotzen. So we're going to put on this little summary that we just flew through of 40-minute learning to a 5-minute session, into also include a picture of the Tolna Rebbe when he was a Rosh Kolo, I believe, and a chassid of the Pic Pnei Menachem. It was the Pic Pnei Menachem's Yotzai yesterday, which was also my Yom Yeledet. And we spoke also in the session about the journey of about Tshuva with the fire, the Eish Tamid. The fire, you have this fire that can, God forbid, burn people. You have to learn how to channel that fire through Tikkun Amidas, as Reb Shimon Bar Yochai demonstrated by going back into the cave and working yourself to the point where you can see the good in others, and not just this fire that you have for Hashem to burn other people. It should come together with the shlemus of midas as well, good midas, the Gadlus Mochin, the expanding consciousness. It should help fix up our attributes so that we can be in a good place in all ways. It should bring us shlemus in life, so we balance out everything we experience. And we mentioned the idea that everything we've ever gone through in life, especially about Tshuva, when we've experienced such intense moments of, specifically Nun Shai Tuma, of really big challenging levels of impurity, and we're able to, through those experiences, to masig the deepest of Torahs, the deepest of nitzotzes, of sparks of Kedusha that are hidden within those moments. That's something which About Tshuva has, and therefore can give access to the most deepest levels of Torah, the pnimis of Torah that we mentioned before. So we have the power within in our journey to mashlim everything through true Das, And with that, the Meor Einaim is giving us the concepts of the Shabbos HaGadol, that Shabbos is the biggest gift that gives us true Daas. And Yom Shekudah Shabbos, we'll have the Shlemas of Daas with the Geulah Shlema, Meor Einaim, Amen. Everyone should be blessed with a beautiful Shabbos, Parshat Tzav. And even though this is Parshat Power, we should be zocheh to the purity that brings to prepare us towards these big days ahead. And it should be with geschmack and simcha and lots of Torah. Amen. And just mention one story. We mentioned interesting story, end up with a story that there was a time where I had my whole journey written up in an article for a magazine. I haven't really mentioned the story for a long time. And my wife was very uncomfortable at that stage of our life, of our kids in schools that they were in, etc., etc. She didn't really want this to go public. It was like the Mishpacha magazine of its time. And it was going to go into all the different people's homes of people we knew. And she really didn't want it to get published. The day before, I was telling her, you can't cancel, it's too late. They've already written articles going out tomorrow in all the stores. Anyway, the next day we heard that the magazine closed down and that person never got paid for that article and that article never got published. So the power of keeping things private is part of the reason why we're not recording the Chavrusa, being able to have respect for people's journeys and conversations. And I apologize if I've offended anyone in the past in any way, being more public with things. But my goal, my personal mission is to share Hashem's light as much as I can, bring Gadlus and bring true consciousness to humanity. So hopefully we can undo all the craziness that's going on nowadays and come to the true Shlemas of Daas of the Geulah Shlema. Amen. Thank you for listening, and please share and give feedback. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of the week and a good Shabbos. Yeah, I'd just like to add to the shir why we included the cover photo of my Rebbe is because the Tolna Rebbe was asked once by the CEO of AMI, if possible, and I was asked to arrange it, if he would like to be interviewed. And again, many times this was requested through myself, and the Rebbe and his sons were not interested in having an article. And the answer I got from my Rebbe is his stapkus. He felt like he has everything he needed. So the reason why we chose this is also the privacy of the derech of the Meor Einaim, the derech of Chassidus, and should be zocheh mitzvah Hashem to respect people's privacy. And so not everybody wants to be mufasem. As I mentioned, Rabbi Yehuda Sama also, he asked him if he wanted to be in the Ami, and he also declined. So something that Baruch Hashem, Am Yisrael, in their uniqueness and specialness, everyone has their journey of how they want to bring out the light to Hashem. And Baruch Hashem, I'm hoping this picture will be enough light without having to make a magazine article. Only blessings and simcha.